Okay, we are recording. Probably not loudly enough, but oh well. Once again, I am in the rain test environment. You can see that there's the background layers there. I've added a bush here, and there's now these two umbrellas. One of these, the foreground one, I should say the one that's closest to the camera, is a foreground widget that is programmed to open when it starts raining, and the one behind it is actually a custom NPC. Let's see. Can I have the other umbrella? Twilight allows it, and now the umbrella follows Rainbow Dash around. As you can see, it is being drawn on top of Rainbow Dash, and there is actually a flag which you can use to set whether a custom NPC is drawn on top of the player character or not. And there's a couple of other switch rules that I'd like to demonstrate here, and at the same time take Trixie down a peg. If you examine this bush, she says, "Who plants a bush right in front of a bridge?" Poof! It is I, the great and powerful Trixie! Yeah, planting a bush right in front of a bridge is the sort of thing she'd do if it brought attention to herself, but no, she was just disguised as a bush. Oh, brother. With just a wave of the weather wand, the great and powerful Trixie is suited for a stormy soaking, prepared for pouring precipitation, clad for a cataract cloudburst, dressed for a drenching deluge downpour. And now the great and powerful Trixie shall conjure a storm such as Equestria has never known. Yeah, this is both a wand and an umbrella. Sort of stole a book page out of, oh crap, who was that giant from Harry Potter? How do I not know his name? Well, anyways, here she is hamming it up, and as you can see, the loud thunderclap made him cover his ears. And now she's chanting some type of incantation. It is pouring even more than usual. I added another dialogue command that allows for rain that is extra raindrops and longer ones. Of course, you talk to her as Rainbow Dash, and she has to smack talk her. "Trixie, you look like Laundry Day puked on you." Seriously? 4 layers of rain gear? Doesn't even make sense. The first layer's any good, it's the only one you need. And you call this a storm the likes of which Equestria has never seen? Pfft. That make it rain harder than this when I'm washing the dishes at my Cloudominium. Yeah, I misspelled washing there, but hey, this is just a proof of concept, so it's not that big a deal. And Trixie does not cotton well to being smack-talked, so she conjures this extra storm cloud, which is now chasing Rainbow Dash around. You talk to her and, poof, what? Cower before the fury of the deluge brought upon you by the wrath of the great and powerful Trixie. For Pete's sake, Trixie, stop this stupid storm and let us get on with Twilight's experiment. We spent weeks planning this. Ah, but the great and powerful Trixie likes watching you peons get drenched. And the great and powerful Trixie always gets what she wants. You don't know actually how... I flubbed a line, but oh well. You see what she says. You insult the great and powerful Trixie with your paltry attempt at reverse psychology. Just for that, I shall leave the storm in place. Yeah, she totally doesn't know how to stop the rain. Talk to Twilight, and she has some ideas, though. Twilight, do something! Well, I can't stop the cloud from raining, but I might be able to stop it from moving so you can get up above it. Here goes. And now it's stopped following Radashi around. She jumps up on top of it, and it actually changes its behavior. As soon as you get above it, the behavior changes. And you may have noticed that it darkened when I stomped on it the first time. Now this is going to be very satisfying. Stomp, stomp, stomp. And you may notice something different about her umbrella now. What? Why is there water on my raincoat? Why isn't my umbrella working? Down it goes. My umbrella! What have you done? I've given you a taste of your own medicine. Humph! The great and powerful Trixie has nothing to fear from this storm. You hear me? Nothing! Is that why you're wearing 4 layers of rain gear? It's because I'm wearing 4 layers of rain gear. Why, I don't even need to feel the rain pouring down on my head. See this beautiful magical hat covered with glittering gold raindrops? And yes, another spelling error. Maybe I need to add a spell checker. I don't know how to get one of those in Java, but oh well. And yes, this was based on her starry outfit, but with the stars replaced with raindrops. This hat is enchanted to stay pointy and waterproof no matter how hard it rains down onto it. I cast the spell myself. I think you know what's going to happen next. Yoink. You cast the spell yourself, you say? It shows. Yee! And of course she's screaming her lungs out here. And Dashi is snarking at her. I must away! Poof, she disappears. Good riddance. And as soon as you jump off of the cloud, then it goes right back to that silver. And you can see it's going where I tell it to go. If I'm on the left side of the cloud, it travels left. If I'm on the right side of the cloud, it travels right. So there are there are switch rules that allow it to change behavior as soon as you're above a certain point and below a certain point. There's switch rules that activate as soon as you step onto or come off of a cloud. Or I should say step onto or come off of an NPC. And I think I'll show some of this stuff to you in the editor. Okay, already a window open. Alright, so I'm going to start with the above and below stuff. I actually created an invisible custom NPC. I believe I put it about here. Yes, there it is. This was actually as a means of telling whether the player character is above or below this cloud. I tried putting the switch rule on the cloud itself, and unfortunately that was gauging whether I was above or below the center of the cloud NPC, and the center's about here because the cloud's graphics have to include both the cloud itself and the rain coming down. Basically what I do here is I have four behaviors for the invisible NPC: below active, above, and above active. For below, as soon as the player character gets above the NPC, so that's one of these switch rules here. There's as soon as it starts or stops raining, there's as soon as the player is above or below, and there's steps onto and gets off of as well here. As soon as it's above, then it goes to above active. Above active has a script that essentially broadcasts the player is above message, and then it immediately switches to the behavior above. Above is essentially a listener behavior that waits until the player gets below the NPC's center point. When it does, it goes to below active, and as you might have guessed, below active has just the one script that first broadcasts the player is below message and then immediately switches to below. You know, in retrospect, I probably could have just had 2 behaviors, since the script at the beginning really isn't doing anything other than broadcasting the message and jumping to the next behavior. Yeah, in retrospect, I only needed above and below, and I could have put those scripts in the below and above. Well, yeah, I could have put those scripts there. Let's see. Now let's talk about the cloud itself. You can tell there are a lot of behaviors here, and in a lot of cases, like there's the rain beginning, rain on Trixie end. All of that is just there so that I have transition into and transition out of graphics. I am thinking at this point that one of the weaknesses of the custom NPC system is that it does not have fade into and fade out of graphics. It's only got one graphic per behavior, and I'm going to need those transition in, transition out ones. I'm glad that I worked on smart widgets that have those transition in, transition out animations, because I'm going to need to apply that to custom NPCs in one way or another. Anyways, one of the things that I did for this was I had to have the rain drawn on top of Rainbow Dash, otherwise it would look like it was just behind her. So, run hamsters, run. Yeah, I think that's another reason why I have to do those transition ones. This is starting to get to be too big. I added a little checkbox that was not there before on the graphics tab. Should draw over player character, and this does mean that some behaviors can be drawn on top of the player character and some can be drawn behind the player character. That's one of the things. Actually, the silver one is a good one to show you. This shows a sort of a Frankenstein's monster head with stitches and two eyes. And there's the player character on top of it. As soon as the player character lands on it, then stomp once, which is the sort of medium one, is the behavior that it goes to. If you wait 6 seconds, then stomp once will go back to silver. Stomp on it again, then it goes to stomp twice. This is another switch rule here. When you get to stomp twice, then there's lightning. That's the next behavior that it goes to. It drops lightning down, and if the player character is close enough to Trixie while the lightning animation is playing, or I should say when we get into the lightning behavior, then Trixie's umbrella will get fried, and yeah, then some dialogue with Trixie causes the lightning behavior to switch to Rain on Trixie start. Click OK there. Let's see. And Rain on Trixie. This one shows a UFO and a little stick figure jumping off of the UFO. As soon as you get off of the cloud while it's raining on Trixie, then it jumps to the, or I should say it switches to the Rain on Trixie end behavior. And the Rain on Trixie end behavior is just the cloud ceasing to rain. I'll preview it. And of course, as soon as it gets through one animation, then it fades to silver, and the fade to silver this fade to silver behavior, basically it just plays an animation where it goes from this dark cloud back to silver. So that's the jump onto, jump off of, get above, get below, and draw on top of the player features right there.